Chapter 30. Tough Decisions. Commander Sawyer handed the radio mic back to his RTO and then looked around the room at the police officers. "Gentlemen," Sawyer began, "the events of this week have changed the lives of many men. All have been forced to take actions they most likely would have never dreamed of. These men have been betrayed by their government and are now hunted in the country they pledged to defend." He paused for a second to allow the words he had spoken to set in, for the question to follow would be a hard one to answer. We have all heard the quote, "From time to time the tree of liberty must be cleansed with the blood of patriots and tyrants." Well, gentlemen, I am here to tell you that time has come. My men and I have had this forced upon us. You will not at this time. For now it is our fight, but don't think for a second that tomorrow, next month, or next year, it won't become yours. Again Sawyer paused, while pacing from one side of the room to other, choosing his words carefully. "I have to ask this now and want to give you a choice. Change cannot come by just us few. Who among you will join us in this burden set before us?" At first not one person spoke or made any movement. This was a hard decision to make, one that would change life as they knew it forever. Each man had to decide for himself. "You already know where I stand, Commander," spoke the Lieutenant Governor as he crossed the room to stand by Sawyer. Buck was the first to stand. "I am already part of this. I took the same oath you did, sir." "I am in also," Taylor replied as he took the outstretched hand of the Lieutenant Governor. The front desk officer hung his head and avoided looking at the chair where he had been sitting. "Sorry, I cannot get involved." "That is your decision," Sawyer replied, understanding. Then he moved his attention to those who had just volunteered. "We'll be glad to have both you men. I just have one more thing to ask." He focused his attention on Buck, the dispatcher. "Do you have family, a wife, children?" Buck shook his head no. "Taylor, same question." Sawyer felt no need to repeat the question. Taylor smiled a little at the thought, and then the smile slowly went away as he answered, "Yes, sir. I have a daughter and a beautiful wife." Hearing his tone, Sawyer knew he was conflicted. Stepping over to Taylor, Sawyer placed his hand on Taylor's shoulder and spoke. "Then go home to them," he said, removing his hand, turning to walk away. Even though Sawyer needed every man he could get, he didn't want to see families torn apart if he could prevent it. "Sir," Taylor replied. His courage could be heard in that one word. Sawyer turned back and looked the man in the eyes. He could see the soldier within, and then he spoke. "Taylor," Sawyer began, taking him to one side away from the hearing range of the front desk officer, "you may play one of the most important roles. You can support us another way, get the word out, send us recruits, go to the VFW, the American Legion, anywhere able-bodied men may be, and be heard. Can you do that for us?" "Yes, I can, sir." Taylor spoke with confidence. "You can start with the officers heading back this way and anyone else you can find. They are needed today." Sawyer knew it was a long shot that Taylor would be able to convince anyone, but it gave the man something meaningful to do. "Sir, how do they find you?" Taylor asked. "Send them to the armory on Militia Boulevard. It is now our base of command." A smile spread across Sawyer's face as he said those words. A few hours ago, he hadn't thought it was possible for them to have it. Turning back to the room, he grinned. "Okay, let's load up and move out. Take any weapons you can find. We are going to need them. We are moving out in 2 minutes." This wasn't the way Sawyer pictured the morning going, but he couldn't have prayed for a better outcome.